Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Juan. I'm a yarn addict, hence the name Juan the Yarn Addict, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys for stopping by to check out my video today. This is a yarn and crochet channel where we talk about all things yarn and all things crochet, so if that interests you, please sit back and watch this video because today, my friends, I offer you another session of Whipping It with Juan. So my friends, if you're new here, hi, hello, and welcome. I'm super happy that you found me. Whipping It with Juan is just another one of those sessions where we sit back, we talk, we hang out, we crochet, we sip on our sip, we snack on our snack, and we just enjoy each other's company. So if that interests you, please sit back and enjoy the show. So today, I have a whip that I'm working on that is actually one of my oldest whips. I've had this for quite a while, and I really need to get it off of my hook. So going into the month of June, I said to myself, Juan, you need to finish all of your whips. You can't go into your birthday month with anything on your hook. So I started the month with 9 whips. I'm currently down to 6. So I've completed 3 projects. They're done. They're put to bed. I'm so happy that's done. So I have 6 left. So this one here happens to be my oldest whip. So let me just pull it out and show you the things. So this here is my all-in-one granny. So I started this with 5 skeins, or 6 skeins of the all-in-one granny. And this here is called Aran cream. It has Aran and all the creams. So each skein gives about 15 squares. And so my goal here was to complete all 6 skeins. So I've completed 4 of the 6. So as of right now, I have 60 squares completed out of the 90 that I need to complete this. So the goal here is to have these 2 skeins done before the end of the month. Now, that goes without saying, I still have 5 other whips that need to be finished. So I have to get cracking. We need to get this done. So these are 6-inch squares, and with 90 squares, I have decided that I was going to do 9 across and 10 down. So not quite a square, but kind of square. I may reconfigure that later on, but in my mind right now, it's 9 across and 10 down for a total of 90 squares, which is what I will have when all this is done. So yeah, 1530, 1530, 1530, 90. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and get this started. Now, the hook that I'm using for this is my Streamline Furls, and this is a 5.5mm crochet hook. And I started the project, honestly, with a 6mm crochet hook, but for some odd reason, within the last skein and a half, I said, you know what, let me hook down and see if this is any better. And as it turned out, it's a lot better. I find myself not having to frog back and play, yarn chicken with the colors and things. So I said, okay, I'm just going to stick with the 5.5mm crochet hook and go from there. So now, back when I started this project, I had another plan completely. So let me show you. I planned on running these squares with those squares. So I was going to alternate with these 2 colorways. But I decided, no, that is not what I want. I wanted an entire project all the same, because although I do love these colors, I just felt that it took away from the original project. So I decided, you know what, let's not do that. So I do have plenty of skeins of this, which I have plans for, my friends, but not for the month of June. This is later on kind of a project. So what I'm thinking is I would like to do a moss stitch in the round with this yarn and just let it go. No rhyme, no reason. Just let it go. Let it tell its own story and use a 6.5mm crochet hook, because honestly, friends, this is a nice full 4-weight yarn. And it would work up beautifully in a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, moss stitch type situation. So yeah, I'm sitting on 7 skeins of this. So this is where I'm at with this square before I decided, you know what, Juan? No, put it down. I got 1.5 squares in before I just made that decision, that executive decision. So let me go ahead and reconfigure the camera so you can watch me crochet and talk and all the things. Okay, so brief pause, I'll be right back. Okay friends, so I am back. Now I will be pausing throughout this just to make sure that my data is saved. I've had some tech issues, and while that gets sorted out, I'm just going to randomly save, so in case something doesn't save, I'll be able to just retrace a small step versus an entire video. Okay, so anyway, I have my 5.5 letter I streamline hook. I love this hook. I bought this hook before the price went up. So recently the price went up to, I believe, $26. I bought this before that. But yeah, I do like this hook. Now I do like my Odyssey hooks a lot more, I will say. But that goes without saying. This is still a really good hook. No complaints here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I just have to concentrate with this to just make sure that I hit the mark. 1, 2, 3. Now, I think we're going to be good with this because I have a formula that works where I'm not having to frog, which is great. I love that. Once you figure out a way for this to make it work for you, it's actually really nice. Now, the ball band does give a recipe. It gives you a way to do it, but it's not the way that I enjoy doing it. So I decided against that. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it my way, because my way is the way I enjoy doing it. It may not be the right way, but it's the way I like it. So there you have it. Let's see if this works. I have a feeling it's going to work. We shall see. Perfect. Yep. All right. So let's go on to the white. All right. So anyway, this project came about because I originally bought the Moody Cherry colorway, and I did a yarn review on the all-in-one granny. It's on my channel. There's part 1 and part 2. I did it a while ago. And I said to myself after I recorded that video, Juan, you got to try some other colorways, you know, to just get a feel for the yarn. So I went on a shopping spree. I bought a whole bunch of this. I bought more Moody Cherry. I bought a whole slew of these. And then I bought some lily pad. And I came home, I started crocheting with it, and I just could not figure it out for the life of me. The only way that I could get it to work is if I played yarn chicken and I frogged every other stitch. It was a mess. Anyway, I finally figured it out. I figured out a way to get this to work for me, and the color changes exactly at the right time for me. And so I started this journey. So I was one skein in on this colorway, and I said, you know what? Let me just keep going. Let me just do the things. So I did, and so here it is. Okay. I'm finishing up round 2, and I should be changing colors, which I am. How awesome is that? So the way I'm doing it is I chain 3, and the chain 3 counts as a double crochet. So in the corner, this first part here, I have 3 chains and 2 doubles, and that counts as one part of the corner. And then I chain 2, and then I go back into the corner with 3 doubles. 1, 2, and 3. No chains. I yarn over and go right into that middle section and do another 3 peas in a pod, the granny stitch. No chains. I go right into the corner, 3 peas in a pod, chain 2, 3 peas in a pod, all in the corner. 3 peas in a pod. 1, 2, 3. Go right into the middle part, 3 peas in a pod. undo your corner. 3 peas in a pod, chain 2 3 peas in a pod. Just like that. I believe I have this down to a science for me. I don't know how this would work up for anyone else, but for me, it works. And I like that for me, because that allows me to finish this whip. I'm actually seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, because let me tell you, my Llama Mama Kayla blanket has one more skein to go and it's done. My moss stitch in the round, one skein more to go and it's done. My asymmetrical shawl, I literally have just this little bit left to put on this, and this is done. My Annie M blanket, it is halfway done. It's at the halfway point, and that's done. This project here is where I'm the furthest behind. So that is why it is of a focus right now. And then my rainbow squares have been sent to my friend Penn. She's actually sitting at home sewing in all of the ends as we speak. So I could focus on all of this. So she's helping me out, which I greatly appreciate, you know, because I'll tell you what, sewing in ends is no easy task, nor is it fun. Well, for me anyway, because I know people who love sewing in ends, like Penn. But me, no. I'd rather just leave the ends for someone else to sew in. Leave the ends for someone else. That someone else is not me. Now, I've tucked the tails, I've crocheted over the tail and things like that many times. And I have done that in the squares that I have sent Penn. But there are tails that I have not done that to. So I think that's what she's focused on right now. So as of the recording of this video, she's about 40 squares in. So yeah, she's chugging along there. But you know, again, once I get those squares, I have to drop everything that I'm doing and assemble that blanket. I got to put all the squares together, you know, just like this one. See, I have this very quick way of joining these squares. So in the spaces in between, I do a single crochet, and then I chain 2, and then I single crochet again, and it looks amazing, and it's fast, and I like that for us because I want to get the stuff done, you know. It doesn't even have to be for the house. It actually does look pretty good. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, I think I'll be able to get these squares done before I get the rainbow squares from Penn. That's my personal goal, to have these squares done before the mail comes in with those squares. Now, I can finish a skein, like if I don't have to frog back and I just crochet away, I can get a skein done in 4 hours. If I can sit in one spot for 4 hours uninterrupted, I can get a whole skein done in 4 hours. I've timed myself already. So I love that for me. Yep. This is perfect. I love it. Okay, let's join right there, and it's changing over to white. It's so good. So good. You see what I mean? It took a lot of failed attempts to get it down to a science, you know? Love that. But here we are. I'm actually able to get this done using this hook. I don't know what it is about this hook, but let me tell you, I love this hook. For me, anyway. It's the answer to my solution. I mean, to my problem. It's the solution to my problem. I couldn't figure it out the correct way when I said it the first time. Anyway, I do have some cows and mows and things. Actually, I don't have some. I just have one. I have Sophie's that I put on the back burner because I need to get all this stuff off my hook. I will feel much better about working on Sophie's if all of my WIPs are completed. If I can get all of my WIPs done and just focus on Sophie's while I work my projects in July, I'll be in a happy place. Now, the projects that I have planned for July are my birthday blanket and my Sirens Atlas project, and I am putting together my summer cow, which, you know, I spoke about at the members only live and have not finalized the details of that yet. There are people who, you know, heard the preliminary conversation and said, you know what, I'm going to bow out of this one. Totally understandable. You know, at this point, sometimes people need a breather. But the great thing about these cows are it sits on my channel in its own folder. So whenever you choose to come back and pay it a visit, you can. So although you can't participate now, no love lost. For me, the videos that I put on my channel are like it's like planting little seeds. You know, I plant the seed, I watch it grow, come visit, do the things whenever you want. Now when it's small, or later when it's big. So it's completely up to you when you decide to see it. Now, you don't have to do it at all. You can just come and watch and see all the things. You know, that's the great thing about YouTube. You can just watch. You don't have to do any of it. So, but for me, I do have to do the things. I have to do the things. You know, things for people to watch. So, anyway, I am rounding out my first square. This is great for us. Let me recrochet that double. There we go. Perfect. Now, a lot of the squares that I have, for some reason, I end up with just a little bit of brown in the last stitch, and I'm not mad at it. It's fine. I end up with one stitch in the brown, and I'm okay with that. The entire square came out perfect except for one stitch. I can live with it, you know? As a matter of fact, I need to pause and I'll be right back. Okay. That was easy. I find that when I do these little pauses, it actually helps get everything together. I don't know, it's so weird. When I let this session run with no stops in between, that's when I lose the data. For some reason, I don't know why that is. It could be a software issue, it could be a hardware tech issue, I'm not sure, but I have a list of materials that I need to pick up to replace all of the things. So I'm looking to actually replace everything so this doesn't happen again, because I find myself having to re-record. Like when I batch record, like when I do stitch tutorials and things to let them stack up, I find myself having to re-record those, some of them twice and even 3 times. My springtime cow, I had to record each week at least twice. I could have made like 3 or 4 blankets with the amount of times that I had to redo my work because of the tech issues. So I'm just looking forward to finally upgrading before the end of the summer, because for us, you know, prime time is, you know, fall, winter, you know, that's when everything goes into full swing, and we need to make sure that we have everything the way we need it. Now, when I first started my channel 9 months ago, as a matter of fact, as of yesterday, today is June 21st, and I started my channel 9 months ago as of yesterday. So when I started my channel, it was a lot simpler. You know, I didn't really have much to go on. Everything was very ho-hum. And then as my channel grew and I learned more about YouTube and how things work, I realized that I needed to upgrade this and I needed to do that, but somehow along the way, you know, in haste, I made quick decisions that I didn't really think about in the long term. So, like the hardware, like the software. So, I'm looking forward to upgrading all of that. So, when you tune in to me and you watch my videos, you get better quality. It's going to be a lot easier for me to record without having to worry about losing data. It's going to be so good. So, stay tuned for that. What I may do is stop recording on my phone. So, I have an iPhone, like one of the latest ones, and so I think I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to actually use a camera with like an external hard drive with removable memory and things. I think it would be a lot easier for me to manage and maintain. So, yeah. Anyway, let's talk some yarn. So, I went shopping, as I always do, over at the Wool Warehouse UK, and I don't get a chance to shop there often, but I find myself looking at yarns that I've never touched before, and the fact that, you know, the Wool Warehouse is far away, you know, it's, you know, it has me wondering, like, what if I order it, get it in, and don't like it? Well, obviously I can do a giveaway and things, but, you know, it's not the same when you're shopping locally, and you're like, oh, I have to try that. Let me try this in every color. You know, it's a trial and error thing. But anyway, I said, you know what? Let me just get all of it. Get this color, get that color, this and that, and this and that. So stay tuned for that, because I see myself finding like all of these new yarns, new to me yarns, and I come across it, I'm like, how did I not see this before? Like, I know I'm not the only one. Like, I'll go on a website, I'll look at yarn, and I'll spend a lot of time looking at yarn, but then I'll go back like 2 weeks later and be like, I didn't see that the last time that I was there. And I find myself, you know, buying more things. And so, you know, not that it's a problem for me, but, you know, I would like to see all of the things when I'm there, and maybe put the new items in a new items category, so I know to just look there and not through all of the pages. You know, maybe it's there. I bet you it's there. I'm just not paying attention. Typical Juan, always in a hurry. Anywho, I can't wait for this project to be finished. This is the oldest one, because let me tell you, I have so much planned that I spoke about, that I need to deliver on. So the Apache tiers, I made a modification version of the Apache tiers that I want to roll out. So it's not the same, you know, single crochet and the double. I made some modifications to the stitches, and I want to roll that out. My poncho I want to roll out, but see, like, this is later on down the line, you know. But I know all of that is coming, and so I want to get my plate as clean as possible so I can focus 100% on those projects, you know. But I know me. I'm going to get there, and I'm going to see, like, 55 other things that I want to do, because I have squirrel moments. I'm, like, focused on this one project, and I look up, and I'm like, oh my goodness, look at that. I want to do this, that, and the third with that. And then here I'm still sitting with this. And then while I'm working on that, I look over here and I'm like, what's that? I didn't see that before. Let me try that. And so, before you know it, I'm sitting on all of these whips. That's how all this happened. That's how all this happened. I used to be a one project kind of guy, but I don't know what happened. Inspiration took over. That's the only thing I can think of. I'm constantly being inspired from people in my Facebook group, Juan the Yarn Addict and friends. You know, they're in there sharing their makes. They're so proud of like the work they put into their projects and things. And, You know, you can just tell by the way they speak about them. And so I really look at their work and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is some great work. You know, I need to check this out. So I look into it and I'm like totally inspired. I go to Joann's, I go to Michael's, I buy the yarn, I prepare myself for another journey on a project that I was inspired by. Another WIP on the pile, you know. So anyway, that's that. I just have to slow my roll with that. You know, slow down. I can still be inspired, but I have to slow down that process of, you know, deciding to go ahead and work on that project as opposed to saying, that's nice, but I need to focus on what I'm working on right now. Because this work isn't getting done any faster. You know, there's a sweater that I did last winter. It's still in a tote. I have it in timeout. It's that Hirschner's yarn. They had it clearanced out for $1. It's the wool spun, and I have it in a red and a black. And I got it because we love a good red. But I must have fell asleep during the process or something, because the math just is not mathing. I don't know how I got 75 stitches on one side and 80 something on the other. And then I finished off a sleeve, started the other sleeve, went to go measure it, and it's not the same size. It's just, yeah, I may have to ribbit and frog all of that back, as a matter of a fact. I don't want to waste the yarn, so I would rather frog it back, cake it up, and start fresh with something else, as opposed to just leaving it sit there in the bin and waiting for inspiration to take over again. Because let me tell you, you guys know, you're on the YouTube streets, you see all of these things going on, you're like, oh wow, that's great, oh my goodness, look at that, look at that, look at that. You're not going to have time to revisit an old project that you have sitting in a bin. You know, so I don't know, it's been in timeout for quite some time. If it makes it to my anniversary date, my first year podversary, then I'm frogging it. You know, there's just no need to hold on to that any longer. So, yeah. It's fine for me. Okay. Let me just get around this corner. Alright. So, let me take a sip of my soda. I'm drinking Diet Coke at the moment. Usually it's coffee, you know, but it's just so hot that I decided to opt out on the coffee this evening. I did make a pot though. I still made a pot of coffee in case I changed my mind. So there's that. But for right now, I have a Diet Coke here. I can't put my hook down. I can't put my hook down. I love that. Let me at least finish this square, right? So I think I will be able to get this project done before the end of the weekend. I think I can. Because it's only 15 squares of skein. If it gives me more than 15, I'm still going to make it, because you never know. If one of the squares doesn't pan out for whatever reason, I have a backup. So, a friend of mine said, hey Juan, they say 14 to 15 squares per skein, but on this one particular skein that I have, I wound up getting 16. So, you never know. You might wind up with an extra one or two. And maybe they did that in case like the beginning of the skein for whatever reason didn't work out and you didn't get your full square. So maybe they added that extra length on there just to make sure that they delivered on their promise of giving us the amount of squares that it advertises on the ball band. I think the ball band does still specify. Let me see. Let's see here. It should say on here, suggested hook is 5.5. Okay, so yes, it says one skein equals 14 squares. I've been able to get 15 plus out of every skein so far. So maybe they did that, they downplayed it by one, just to make sure, which was very smart on their behalf, if I say so myself. I think that's very clever of them to say, you know what, even though we're giving you 15 or 16, for sure you're getting 14. You know, there's wiggle room and all the things. So, good for them. But I will tell you what, imperfections and everything, through it all, I am enjoying myself working with this yarn. It's not for everybody, and trust me, you have to have the patience to work with this. You do. It's just common knowledge. You have to be patient with this, because if you're not, you're going to put it down and it's going to sit on a pile and it's going to just be there for a long time. You're not going to have any interest in this. Okay. Let me, right? Yes. Okay. Nice. So, yeah. Now, I could have chosen more vibrant colors, but my living room, not the squirrel's nest, but my formal living room is very muted colors, with chocolates and creams and things, and I think this would look really well against my furniture in there, so it would accent it nicely. And so I figured, let me do this, and I'm going to run Aaron as the connecting. It's this color here, which is down here on the bottom. So I'm going to run that with this when all of my squares are completed. So there is that. Now I got to trim this. I'll use about that much for the tail. Love that. All right, let me pause this again. I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. All right, so I have a feeling that I'm going to need to celebrate. If I'm able to get all of my WIPs done by the end of June, I'm going to want to celebrate by doing something. I don't know what that could be. If you have any suggestions on something I could reward myself with for doing all of this work and meeting my deadline, please, by all means, let me know. I'm excited to know, because this is a lot of work to get done. And you know what? I own it, because it's me saying, let me do all of the things. I want to do this. I want to do that. Can I do this? Can I do that? You know, so I'm super excited to be able to say I set out to get all of my stuff done by the end of June. I worked really hard between putting content out for my channel and working the day job and all the other things, and I managed to get it all done, you know. Now, I thought about ordering myself more Nelsonwood hooks, but for the month of June, I ordered 4 hooks, so I don't think hooks should be the thing. Although I wouldn't mind. Maybe it's got to be something else. We'll see. And I forgot to mention, I mentioned it before, but not in this episode. I have my mystery boxes going for sale the first week of July, so that's exciting. I'm excited about that. And I'll put the details out there on the YouTube streets within the coming days. Actually, the last week of June, which I think we're about to go into. So, yes, because today technically, well, not technically, it's Friday going into Saturday. And so all next week I'm going to be advertising my mystery boxes. I'm going to show some examples of what will be included in a mystery box. I'll give more details surrounding all the things. So, full disclosure, my house is flipped upside down. Like, I pulled all the yarn that I'm including in these mystery boxes all into the great room. So my living room, my dining room, and my kitchen area is one huge area. Except in my kitchen I have like it's a galley kitchen but with a bar, and it's open like. So anyway, that whole area is filled with yarn. Bins and totes and baskets and bags. And so I have to get packing. And I thought about doing like a video, like let's make mystery boxes, but I'm not going to remember what's in these boxes, and they're not for sale yet, so I can't sit any to the side for anybody in particular. So once I close it, I'm not going to know what's in there. I just have to make sure that the contents are exactly what I want them to be, which is a steal and a deal for $60. Now, I thought about making smaller mystery boxes, but I want to see how these do first. If my bigger mystery boxes do not move for whatever reason, then I will consider some alternatives. But for right now, I just need to make the space to get rid of this yarn. So as a content creator, as a channel, it's my job to review new yarns, new to me yarns, acquisitions, and things like that. So when I get the yarn and I review it, I then have no need for it unless I decide to work it up into a project. So then it sits here and it collects space. And so with that being said, I have to make absolutely sure that I do what I need to do to get the boxes sold. I have to redo this. I didn't measure it correctly. So yeah, I'll start with the $60 boxes, and then I will move down towards the smaller boxes, but I don't even know what that would even look like, because based on the yarn that I have, I would want everybody to get the steal and the deal. And if, I can potentially save you more money by putting more in a box, I want to do that. So we'll see. Stay tuned. Hopefully I can get this correct. I don't know what happened with that last square. I had so much white left over. That's not common. I usually wind up running into this color. But that's okay. I'm good with it. Okay. This should work now. I have a feeling it's going to change at the right time. Just based on where I started and all that. So I wonder what WIPs you guys are working on. Maybe you're not working on WIPs. Maybe you're just watching me crochet and babble on about all the things, which I love that for me. So the fun part about doing this is you never know where other people are when they watch you. Are you in a cab? Are you in a subway? Are you in your living room? Are you in your bedroom? Are you watching me from your iPad? Maybe a full screen TV. I never know these things, but I always wonder, I wonder where they're watching me from. So curious. So, anyway, I have a feeling that this summer, I'm going to be able to put out a lot of content in terms of design and things. I've been so inspired by colors and animals and the weather. I don't know about you, but we're experiencing, in my opinion, some abnormal weather patterns, and it's changing the way the sky looks, the way the clouds appear to me, and it's giving me inspiration to create patterns and designs and things. So yes, I'm super excited to get started on all that. But first things first, my friends, we got to get through this whole entire situation. Look at this. What is going on with this white? This white is giving me all of the things in the wrong way. I haven't had to pull back 3 times in such a long time. What is happening? Let's try this. I mean, look at that tail. Oh well. Let's do the things and see what happens. Fingers crossed that it actually works, right, friends? Fortunately for us, our session is coming to an end soon. So I'll just say the things that I need to say now for YouTube. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you. We do WIPn It with Juan sessions. I cake up vintage yarns. I write my own patterns. You can find me on Ravelry as JuanTheYarnAddict. I don't have much on there because I'm a new channel. I've been on here for less than a year. But I have been crocheting since I was 15. I have a very awkward welcome to my channel video. My channel was originally called Hooked Creations by Juan Ramon. It's the very first thing that I say. I have since changed the name of my channel to something that I felt was more appropriate for me. So I love that for me. I am Juan the Yarn Addict. And so yeah. And I did not pen the saying all the things, but I do say it a lot. I got it from a TV show, and I can't help but to continue saying it because I love saying it. It's all the things. It's all the things. So, anyway, if you enjoy the quirky personality that is me at times, feel free to hang around, subscribe, interact with the other viewers. I have a Facebook group, Juan the Yarn Addict and Friends. Feel free to stop by. There's 4 questions to answer, but come on in, share your makes. Tell us who inspired you. We'd love to have you there. I do have memberships on my channel that will allow you to support the channel, but then the upper tier, the official Yarn Addicts, we do Zoom calls on the weekends where you can meet me, you can meet the other official Yarn Addicts, and we hang out twice a week. We have developed friendships and all the things, so it's a very special place that I've created for the members of my channel. I'm very proud of it. So, but if none of that interests you, at least, subscribe. And then hit that notification bell to stay updated with everything regarding me and my channel. I do go live every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with my mother. I bring her on the channel. She gets spicy at times, but, moms do that, and that's okay. I love that for her. I'm very close to my mother, by the way. So I'm sharing a piece of her with you guys on Sundays. And so, yeah, I think I said all the things. But also, just when you come to see my videos, enjoy yourself. Hopefully you get a little laugh, a little giggle, Hopefully you walk away from my videos in a better mood than you found yourself when you came, If you find yourself that way, I've done my job. And that's the number one thing that I want for the people who watch me. Just leave better than you came. So, all right, my friends. I think that is it. I'm going to stop us there. I'll continue this later. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, friends. That is all I have for this one. And again, I really enjoyed myself. I hope you did too. And so until the next one, guys, take care. Bye, friends.